Welcome to another Relax and Paint with me this morning. I want you to take a deep breath and relax and think about sharing something that some of your creative abilities with somebody else today. So what I need to do myself, and so I thought this is a great opportunity to share this with you guys, is I need to paint a couple of greeting cards, and I was getting in the mood to send some of these cards to shut-ins, to these women that are um, they don't go out much, they don't do the internet, they don't get any of that aspect in their life. And so I decided I need to write snail mail and send them a card. I don't know, a lot of people send internet cards on Facebook and other things, but I thought painting on greeting cards would be fun. You can do it for any occasions. I'll probably do some for Easter and some other occasions. But I have to tell you, for 5 years, I painted all my greeting cards, and now that they're $1 a piece, it kind of seems senseless, but it's not the same as hand painting them. And for 5 years, I made a goal to do this, and because I just kept painting for I have 29 grandbabies, and I have all my 7 children, 6 are living, and their spouses or their significant other, who knows if they don't always have a spouse, so you never know. So when you watch this, they might all be married, who knows? Okay, so I just got a package of blank cards. Now, I like to go to like a Hobby Lobby or a store that sells stationery and get a pretty background. And the background's already there, and I just paint flowers on top. But I have said when I've traveled and somebody has a store, they had me coming there to teach, and I have sit down, and I remember a couple of different times that these people sold their hand-painted cards. So I said, get out some cards and let's paint tonight while we're visiting. And I remember painting 50 cards. They were just a pretty pastel background and an ombre background. And all we did was paint flowers on them while we were visiting. We did 50 in just an hour and a half that we were talking and laughing and having a good time. So this is a good thing to have fun doing. I'm going to show you a simple little flower that looks Christmassy in a couple of different ways. Does that sound good? And we're going to paint on the greeting card too. Thank you for following. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on, be sure to go ring the bell. When you subscribe, there's a place, and I don't know, it usually comes up that you can click to ring a bell so that it will tell you when I'm going to be on. Okay, so thank you. So I'm going to go to my overhead camera, and we will get started. All right, so if I click the right thing, there we go. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to have just, this is an off-white color. I'm going to get, I've got some multi-surface paint. So it's just multi-surface, and it goes on all sorts of surfaces. I also put out some treasure gold. All of these are on onestroke.com. Any of these things that you might want are on onestroke.com. So be sure to go there and find any of the things that I'm sharing with you. This is diamond dust. That's a fun product that I use, and lots more. So let's talk about the colors I'm using. Wicker white, apple red. This is a green I don't use a lot. Bright green, because it's a good Christmas color. Citrus green, treasure gold. All right, so let's work on, I might want a little bit darker color too. Let's see, let's use a little bit of berry wine. If you have it, just a teeny bit of berry wine. And because we're using paper, we might want to put out a little bit of floating medium. And floating medium is a fluff that's inside paint with no pigment in it, no colors. All right, so these are all products that you can get on my site. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up my brushes. So there's 2 different ways I can do this. I have a 3/4 flat and a 12 flat. All right, so I'm going to show you that I do like to use the 3/4. Oops, I got green all over me. There we go. All right. So I'm going to turn this card sideways. You can go this way. It's better to fold it if you're going to get near the edge so that you don't go to the back, and then you can keep it neater. So I dampen my brush, I lay it on a paper towel, and then I'm going to come back and forth right here and get the color that we need. I want to get a good load on my brush, back and forth, back and forth. Now, do you see I just have 1/5 of this has a little bit of berry wine. The rest of it is, I laid this in green. All right. So I've got to get it. It's got green all over me now. All right. So then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to dip in a little bit of the berry wine tip. Now, doing a poinsettia is usually difficult, but I have a simple, it's not difficult, it's just, it has these peaks and you have to have a lot of control sometimes. So let's show you this. I'm going to just do a little bit of a wiggle. All right. Now I'm going to turn it around, and this is a large brush and I'm staying up on the tip. All right. So I've got 1, 2, oops, I didn't get my point. So I'm going to lay this right over this, right next to it and right over it. Okay. And the dark berry wine's on the outside edge. So there's 3. Now you can even do 5. A lot of flowers have 5, or they have 3 and overlay 3 on top. All right, now do you see what I did here? I went out and then I reversed the bristles. So look, they're going this way. Then I reverse and I can bring them back. But look, you see how I'm laying it out? So right here, if you go back like this, you're laying forward, and it's better, it looks better if you lay it out. All right. Now, I could do a couple little things in here to make this even look better. I'm going to take the 3/4. I'm going to do a 12 on the next so you see the difference. Okay. Now you could just make it real simple like that. Or I can take my 12 and look at this. I want to get these 2 colors and a little bit of berry wine. And then I'm going to come over here to my gold. Now look what happens here. Oh, that's not going to show up. So I have used another shade. Let's get a teeny bit of white, just a little bit. The metallic gold didn't show up well there, so I'll show you. So I can come all around here. And you can see red's kind of a transparent color, which you can see through it. It doesn't have that base that we need to be opaque. Transparent's easy. That means you can see through. Opaque is what a white base gives you. Opaque. Okay, so I can put a little bit of paint back on there. Do you see that? Just a little bit. There. All right. So that just gives you 2 things. It gives you just the plain outside 5 that you can just leave it there, or you can do another layer. But you saw that that was easy, huh? So now I'm going to take my 12 And I've got a little piece from the lid that left a dried piece of paint. Okay, so then I like to come here on the envelope, and I always like to do something on the envelope. Out and back, out and back. Okay, so just a little piece there. Now what I can do, I can put little pine needles and stuff in here, something simple. I just want you to see that we can do this nice, simple, and fun. I'm going to now clean out my 3/4 that I use for the red. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and get citrus green. I dried this brush before I put it into the paint. Okay, I dried the bristles. All right, so what I want to do is I want to come right in here and show you. I'm going to come right there and pull a stem in here. Now, poinsettia leaves are a lot like the poinsettia itself, so they're just longer. All right, now because it's Christmassy colors, we know that is a poinsettia even if it doesn't have the poinsettia points on the petals, right? Okay, now I'm going to come right here and not do a really big one, just a little. And I could even come on top of here and do a leaf, okay? Now, that doesn't look like much yet, but let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come back to this 12. I can even come here and get a little bit of berry wine just to make it darker, because I want you to see we're just using 4 colors, 5 colors. Okay, so now look what happens. I'm going to be on the chisel, and I'll put some little pine needles. So you're up like this, you lift the front, and you take your whole hand with you. You see, I take my whole hand. So what you want to do is you don't want to flip it, because you don't make it look good when you flip it. So you're going to take your whole hand with you. All right. So I'm going to come over here. I went and got more berry wine. I want to put it up here so you can see it good. My whole hand goes with me. Now what I do is I line up 6 cards at a time, and just to get a hand painted piece from you, I'm telling you, people frame cards and they can't believe that you hand painted it and sent it to them. So on the back of the card, I want you to sign it, even if you do it with an Identipen. All right, a little fine tip pen. All right, so now there's a couple things that can happen. We can take, let me wash this brush. We can use, let's get yellow. All right, we can just put metallic gold, or we could put a little bit of the green. So this is what we do. We take citrus and we dot with the handle of the brush. Citrus, dip dot. We're dip dotting. Okay, and I can do some of this just right here, because what I'm going to do now is dip the yellow and go back and dot right on top of here, because these yellow centers, you got to dip again, make it look just like the centers they are. So So you have to have fresh paint. You can't do that if the paint's starting to dry, okay? All right. So now what I'd like to show you is I can make some little dots coming out from my center here. So right along the stem, so it can look a little bit like berries. All right. You do a cluster or you can do straight lines. All right. And I'm going to put a couple here, up here. And one thing that's kind of fun is as you're doing these, as you keep dotting them, they get smaller and smaller. Okay. Now I do like to take just a liner, and I'll show you something really quick. You usually don't, this doesn't work too well to make this inky, but I'm going to make it inky with water. And roll the brush, and okay, I can take my finger along here. See my fingers running here? I could go right along here. Oops, and I'm shaky, so this is what I do. If I started out shaky, I just do a little bit of a wave. All right, because I'm sure many of you are shaky like me. All right, so what that does is it just adds an accent. And then I do the same thing over here. What I usually can do is run my finger and then go straight down and get a nice straight edge. And whether you're left or righty, lefty or righty, see, just go like this. And if you got the shakes, it won't hurt a thing. Okay, and finish it up by making the end look pretty too. All right, so I can come right along here and put that metallic in there. Okay, you can just do it on the bottom. You don't even have to do it all the way across. All right, so now I have my card ready for the sweet little ladies I'm going to send it to. And I'm going to sign hand painted by Donna. Okay, and then I was thinking if I had a marker here, I could show you their Identipens that I always have with me. So I need to see, yeah. This Identipen is dry. Okay. It's harder to do it with a liner. I was hoping I could get this. I'm going to find a better marker and sign that. I'm just going to say love Donna back there. Let's see if this one works better. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a quick gold and white so you don't have to worry about a lot of colors. You can do silver and white or gold and white, and they look really good on a dark card. That's not working. The pens I have here are well used. All right, so let's go and just use gold and white. All right, so I'm just going to show you a little bit of how we can make white and metallic gold. This is treasure gold, gold. And we have that right on our site. It's amazing. All right. So what I'm going to do here is going to show you that I'm going to decide I want one here, 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 and here. Okay. So I'm going to start in the middle and see, I've got an arrow. See that arrow? So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do a peak, peak, and to a point. All right. So I come back and get more white. I don't really need medium for this because it's working for me. So I'm going to push it down and then go up, up, and to a point. And then I don't want this thickness in here. So I can just, oops, sorry. I can come in here and put a little bit of gold and it cleans it up. So see how pretty that is? Now, I want you to see I keep coming over here and getting fresh paint. I can do both sides since I'm going to be going both ways. Remember your arrow and point. So it's just be really graceful and slow. Look, I start here, I go to a point, then I stand up, push down, stand up, push down, stand up. All right, and then you pull a stem in the middle. All right, I know you can't see that totally clear. Hopefully you can still see that the gold is going to make it really pretty card. Now I'm going to put a little bit stronger like I did on this first one. So I laid it down. Let's get a little bit more on one side. Okay. All right, one, point, 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 and go to the center. Pull a stem. Wow, the wind and rain this morning is really bright. I mean, really loud. Okay. All right, so I didn't fill in there. All right, so I'm just going to stop with that and then have a couple of little guys that are going to be from behind. I could touch it up. I can add those later. Look, let's put one here. And since the gold's kind of transparent, you can just go like that and put it from behind. Can you see that? But if because this is how I do when I'm creating, I just decide, I'm gonna have another one. Or you can take a pencil and draw them in and do these back ones first. Oh, I just messed that up, but guess what? It's gonna be easy to cover that. So this is what I'll do. I'm gonna put this in here and then I can come right in here and re-stroke over that if I ended up going on top of it. All right. I'm gonna come here. See how you can go back and just kind of touch it up. All right. So while I've got this, I'm going to go right here and put a couple of poinsettia petals. Now see, that gets smeary, so it's better to turn it around and get a nice clean stroke. Okay, one more. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to do those two. Now, what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to do white, big white dots. And I'm just going to put some gold in there, and I could do the gold later when the dots are more dry, which might be better for you. I'm just want to make sure I get it all in there for you. All right, same thing over here. Let's just do gold here. And you see that looks good too with just gold. All right. So I am going to go over to this citrus green and I'm going to pick up white and do a pastel. All right. I got to come here and cover up where I messed up there. I'm going to take white on the outside and I can just make them a little bit of white. little bit of white on here. And this side, I want you to see that I can do peak, peak, peak. But see how it's really elegant and pastel? Are y'all relaxing? Take a deep breath and just relax and think of how fun it would be to sit here and paint and think about, I'm sitting here thinking about who I'm giving this to and how they're going to smile when they open up their card. And they might even save it and remember that I thought about them and did a hand-painted card for them. All right. There we go. And then pull a stem in the middle. See, I just think that's elegant, just like that. But we can also come over here and grab some gold. And just put a few. The gold or silver give you a nice, elegant look. Just going to put a few of these in here. All right. There we go. And on here, I can take in here when it's got some green with it. A little bit of green up here. Okay, so now another thing I like to do, which makes this really simple, is I like to take and use treasure gold. All right, and I like to just go on the side of the card. Now you can do this two ways. I've taped this. I put like a little bit of painter's tape right there. So these are straight. Or I can just push this down and come across. It's okay if it looks painterly. Okay, so I'm going to come on there with another coat. Uh-oh, I'm getting bigger and bigger, but that's okay. All right. So when that dries, it makes a nice, pretty gold. All right, and I think I'm going to go across the bottom of this. Let's come right here. And sometimes I don't know that I want this till I'm all done. Are you thinking about doing some cards yourself? I'm telling you, it feels good to give a hand-painted gift. And this card is a gift from you. Okay, so now what I do, because I'm not always straight, is I can come right in here and get my inky citrus. All right, roll it. And look at this. I'm just going to go back and forth. It can be the green or it could be the white. All right. So it just gives you a little finished look. I can also, with a small brush, do these dots along here. Any little thing that you add like this makes it look more finished. And we did dots up into the flowers, so that works. All right. I also like to keep putting these dots in here. See, that's a bad dot, so I have to come back. Make sure you dip dot really good. And you pick up fresh paint because you want to dot dot. Come straight into the wet paint and stand this straight up as you're doing it. Okay, so now I have to put the gold back on top of a few of these white dots. But what I said before is let it dry. Here we go. All right. So would you be proud to give that to your friend? I think they'll like this. Okay. Till I see you again next Wednesday. Have a wonderful day. Go get some paper. I've even folded cardstock at Walmart. You can get a ream of cardstock for $2.50. They have these large envelopes right here. You can fold your cardstock, even if you have to cut it and slide it into these big, pretty envelopes. And they're all white in the office department. So go check them out. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.